Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this afternoon for this special event, We the People, celebrating the United States-India partnership. Please welcome the President and CEO of the United States-India Strategic Partnership Forum, Dr. Mukesh Aghi.
Well, good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kennedy Center, and we look forward to a wonderful evening with Secretary Blinken and also with the Prime Minister of India, Shri Modi ji.
Really, save me.
Let me invite John Chambers and Secretary Blinken on the stage, please. May I ask you to rise and welcome Honorable Prime Minister of India to the stage. Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to welcome Secretary of State Blinken to make some remarks on this historic occasion. But as a longtime friend of India, Secretary Blinken really needs no introduction to the people in this room. When President Biden nominated Secretary Blinken to serve as the 71st Secretary of State, a role first occupied by Thomas Jefferson himself, it was clear he had chosen someone of deep knowledge, experience, and skills. As a career diplomat in the Clinton and Obama administration and senior foreign policy advisor to Senator and then Vice President Biden, Secretary Blinken developed the extensive strategic vision and political acumen to guide our nation through diplomatic challenges around the globe. Over the past 2 years, Secretary Blinken has focused these significant skills on navigating new challenges, rebuilding critical alliances, and strengthening consequential partnership necessary for us to meet the global challenges of the 21st century. We see the fruit of his effort on display here today in the deep, enduring partnership between the United States and India, which is considered the consequential partnership of the 21st century. We are honored to have Secretary Blinken join us today to share his thoughts on that relationship. Secretary Blinken, the floor is yours.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening. It's wonderful to be with all of you this evening. Now, I have to say, Mukesh, it's a little bit intimidating to be in the same sentence with Thomas Jefferson, but I appreciate it. And I also have to say, as a one-time aspiring musician, I especially appreciate being able to take the stage here at the Kennedy Center. It's probably the closest I'll get to actually performing on it. Mr. Prime Minister, this has truly been a historic visit to Washington. To Dr. Mukesh Aghi, to the US-India Strategic Partnership Forum, to the members of the Indian American diaspora, and we've noticed that you're here this week, to all the friends of the US-India cooperation here with us, thank you. Thank you for your work to bring our countries and our citizens ever closer together. You are, as Prime Minister Modi put it, the real engine powering our relationship. Over the last several decades, we have seen a transformation in U.S.-India ties, driven by private sector and civil society leaders like you, by governments of different parties in both of our countries. Today, guided by the vision of President Biden and Prime Minister Modi, the U.S.-India partnership is closer, it's broader, it is more dynamic than it has ever been. And as President Biden said yesterday, we are two great nations, two great friends, two great powers that can define the course of the 21st century. The many deals, the agreements, the exchanges that are coming out of this state visit illustrate just how comprehensive our partnership has become. It reaches quite literally from the seas to the stars, from promoting public health to bolstering peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific. And at its heart is our economic engagement between entrepreneurs, investors, researchers, and others that is expanding opportunity for both of our countries and beyond. Together, we are facilitating greater trade and investment, building on what is already a record $191 billion in bilateral trade. We see the mutual benefits of this relationship when Air India purchases 200 Boeing aircraft, supporting over 1 million American jobs in 44 states. And we see it when Boeing, in turn, commits to training Indian pilots and building regional hubs in India. This partnership is also defined increasingly by efforts to advance technology and innovation, 5G, quantum, artificial intelligence, and to ensure that they are shaped by our values. Building on the initiative on critical and emerging technologies that was launched in January, we announced an innovation handshake yesterday to further connect our startup ecosystems. And the landmark agreement to jointly manufacture advanced GE fighter jet engines in India will facilitate greater tech transfer while strengthening our shared security. We're also de-risking and diversifying our supply chains, from Micron investing $800 million to assemble semiconductors in Gujarat, to India joining the Mineral Security Partnership. And that partnership is helping to develop and ensure trusted sources for vital energy minerals. India's Epsilon Carbon is investing $650 million and creating more than 500 good-paying jobs to build electric vehicle batteries here in the United States, the largest ever Indian investment in the U.S. EV battery industry. And of course, we're investing in our people. Our country's education systems have collectively trained the leaders of trailblazing companies in both the United States and India, Infosys, IBM, FedEx, and we're committed to continuing to create new success stories, streamlining visa processes, opening new consulates to facilitate travel, expanding student exchanges, research collaborations, addressing skills gaps, promoting economic empowerment of women, ensuring that all our people have access to opportunity. You know, if we were gathered together 50, 75, 100 years ago, and we were asking ourselves the question, what constitutes the wealth of a nation? Probably the answer you'd get back then is maybe the size of its landmass, its population, the strength of its military, its abundance of raw materials. And all of those things remain important. But I think what the United States and India recognize powerfully together is that in this 21st century, the true wealth of our nation is our people. And our ability to maximize their potential is what sets us apart. President Biden often likes to say that America can be defined by a single word: possibilities. These past few days have underscored how that spirit of possibility, defines now the U.S.-India relationship. Our governments will continue to do our part. But I'm asking all of you in this room to continue to do yours. Forge new ventures and partnerships. invent game-changing products and services, create unimagined opportunities, visit friends and family in India, host them here in the United States, maybe even right here at the Kennedy Center. Continue to be that engine powering our progress. If we do all that, I truly believe that the US and India will shape together a more peaceful, a more prosperous, a more connected future. Thank you all so very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome USISPF Chairman, Chairman Emeritus of Cisco Systems, and CEO of JC2 Ventures, Mr. John Chambers.
Thank you, my friends. It is one of the biggest honors of my life today to introduce a leader that I think grasps where the future is and is able to enable a country, partner with other countries, and change the world. I have met probably 40 of the top leaders around the world over 35 years in leadership. And the very first time I met the Prime Minister, he was different. He had an energy that was amazing. He had an understanding of technology and how technology was going to enable a country. And then he did something that is really unusual. He connected a vision to a strategy, to what are the priorities to get it done, to outcomes. And when he outlined his Digital India strategy to me and asked for feedback, it was perfect for the future. He based his economy, inclusion of all the people in India, 1.4 billion today, on the ability to bring the power of technology to them, to change their lives, to enable them to participate in what will be the largest economic growth of any country over the next decade. I want to be very upfront. As most of you know, I have been the biggest optimist, the biggest bull on India's future, not in 1 or 2 years, but for the last decade since he came into the leadership. I am the Prime Minister's biggest supporter, and I always have been. Honored to be his friend, but also watch a man who has the ability to outline a strategy and then make it happen. People often ask, what was so unique? What is so unique about this person that changes countries, and I believe will change the world over time? He has an ability to inspire hope, to make us believe on what's possible. He then has the ability to build confidence on what the future can be. Then he is amazingly good on execution and getting his team and other teams to port toward a common goal. And then most important, he gets results. Many in America have a very positive view of India and the Prime Minister, but they really don't understand how far this country's come in the last decade. The country has moved from a very slow follower, where the government was very bureaucratic and very, very slow moving and rigid and not a dreamer, to the most innovative country in the world. It shows up in the economic results, where the country has moved from number 10 in the world to number 5, and as the Prime Minister said, in the next couple of years, number 3. However, I'm usually pretty good at getting market transitions and being accurate on connecting the dots to the future. India will become the #1 economy in the world. And it will do so under the plans and programs the Prime Minister is putting in place. When you look at really leadership is made up of 3 component parts, in my opinion. It's your currency. It's first about your track record. And the track record of the Prime Minister in India over the last decade is an envy of the entire world, an example and a model for us to follow. Secondly, it's the ability to form relationships. This leader can form relationships with leaders around the world, with Democrats and Republicans. A little bit of Southern humor there. But also, he instills trust. And often when people come together and say, here's what we can do together in the future, it is all about trust. Do you trust me? Do you trust the other side that both of us will deliver? When people ask me that question, I have one simple answer. I would trust this leader with my life. So today you're going to hear one of the great visionaries of the future who also knows how to execute. You're going to hear he'll be very humble. He's a very kind person. But you also hear a vision for what I believe will make India the #1 economy. You're going to hear a vision of how two countries can partner together in a way that no two countries ever have in history to work toward a common goal that will be to the benefit of every one of our citizens in India and in the United States, but also the benefit to the world. It is my pleasure to introduce one of the great leaders in the world, Prime Minister Modi. Please come and address us, sir.
Thank you.
My friend, Secretary Blinken, Governor of Delaware, distinguished congressmen, other elected representatives, my old friend John Chambers, my great companion, I can say, Mr. Mukesh Agi, industry captains, ladies and gentlemen. Namaskar. Good evening. This is an event that I was very eagerly looking forward to during my America visit. All of you are strong pillars of America's development journey. And therefore, I was very keen to meet you, and I wanted to talk to all of you as well. Whether you are congressmen, business leaders, doctors, engineers, scientists, or other professionals, it is thanks to the hard work put in by all of you that America has reached these heights. All of you are part of the American dream. You have lived the American dream. You have shown how these dreams can be fulfilled with a strong resolve. I congratulate all of you, and I express my deepest gratitude to Mr. Agi, to John, for inviting me to this program. Friends, it has been 4 days since I arrived in America, and during these 4 days, I have met several people, including President Biden. I have met so many CEOs here, so many business leaders. And the one thing that has given me the most confidence is the India-America partnership. And I can say with a lot of confidence that this partnership is not just a partnership of convenience. It is a partnership of conviction. It is a partnership of compassion. And this partnership is a shared commitment for a better world. And the basis of this partnership, its foundation, is you, this. It is you, the citizens of India and America. And this partnership has another unique trait. There is, in America, tremendous support for India across party lines. Yesterday, the kind of bipartisan support India received in the American Congress is unprecedented. And therefore, my confidence has deepened that our partnership can change the destiny of the 21st century world. Friends, in every country's development journey, there comes a time when it sets new targets with a new energy. Today, India too is going through just such a time period. A short while ago, we celebrated the 75th year of our independence. And we resolved, not Modi, 1.4 billion Indians resolved. And this resolve is to make India a developed nation. It is a resolve for a developed India. In India, we are finding permanent solutions for problems that we have been facing for decades. We are challenging challenges themselves. We are empowering the poor in India. We are improving their ease of living. In 10 years, as John said, in 10 years, India has moved from being the 10th largest economy in the world to the 5th largest economy. The way India has fought the COVID pandemic, this demonstrates India's capabilities. You are all aware what the situation is in the post-pandemic world today with respect to the economy, with respect to inflation, and with respect to supply chains. You know what the situation is. Despite all these problems, India has been able to achieve a growth rate of over 7%. And this didn't just happen, friends. Today, India is undergoing an unprecedented period of reforms. And you who are from the business world, you are aware that the high growth, low inflation combination is not easy to achieve. However, India has shown that even this is possible. We have continuously increased capex while keeping the fiscal deficit under control. Our exports are increasing, our forex is increasing, and we have achieved a new record related to FDI. In the last 2.5 years, American companies have invested over $16 billion in India. Friends, the basis of the success of India, the biggest driving force for India's development is the aspirations of its people. And this is not very different from the American dream. Today, the share of private consumption in India's GDP is the highest it has been in 1.5 decades. And something that will be a solution for all of us is extreme poverty is ending rapidly in India. In India, the neo-middle class and the middle class, this is a block that is continuously growing. And it is these aspirations of the people of India that are becoming the most important axis of the India-America partnership. And what India is doing to fulfill the aspirations of this very large section of people, this opens doors to new possibilities for America. Now, for example, demand is continuously increasing in India's aviation sector. India's domestic air traffic, the growth in the number of passengers, these are achieving new records. And in order to fulfill these demands, airlines in India are ordering hundreds of aircraft. And it is, as Secretary Blinken also said, it is the American companies that are benefiting from this. Jobs are being created here as well. Friends, this visit of mine has taken India-US partnership in the defense sector to new heights. Yesterday, when I spoke about this in Congress, the entire assembly welcomed it with a thunderous applause that just would not end. It was welcomed in this manner. The foresightedness of President Biden, the entire assembly was congratulating him. The India-America Defense Partnership is helping people in almost every state in America. There is a special relationship that is being formed with every state of America, and a new dimension of assistance is being created with every state. Apache helicopters made in Arizona, Georgia C-130J Super Hercules, the MH-60R helicopters from Alabama, civilian Boeing aircraft from Washington and South Carolina, Chinook helicopters from Pennsylvania. These are not only strengthening India's defense and aerospace sectors, but those of America as well. Texas, New Mexico, North Dakota, Alaska, are also benefiting from India's rapidly growing economy, whether it is textiles, food, or tourism. Almost every sector, the aspirations of India are strengthening the American economy. And I am very pleased about one other thing. Indian companies are also investing billions of dollars in America. India's companies are becoming global.
New Jersey.
There are a large number of Indian companies in New Jersey, Texas, New York, California, Georgia, Illinois, Michigan. They're all operating there. And some of them are over here also. And all these companies benefit the manufacturing industry here. They benefit the youth of America. They benefit the farmers of America. Friends, this partnership between India and America is in the interest of both countries, is in the interest of the people of both countries. And that is why it is so important to strengthen it. The American government, under the leadership of President Biden, is carrying out wonderful work in this direction. And you can see that in the last 3 days, so many historic steps have been taken in order to strengthen this partnership, from defense to the aviation sector, from applied materials to manufacturing, from the IT sector to the space sector. India and America are now moving forward as most reliable partners. And now, all of you, my friends, the business community, must come forward and make the most of this opportunity. Friends, every development project of India has the capacity to give more power to the American dream. You can imagine, today, India is carrying out a record investment of over $125 billion on infrastructure. In this growth story of India, there are unlimited possibilities for America and for you all. This is the time for you to take the first and fast mover advantage. Friends, my meeting President Biden at the White House several times in the last 3 days. We were practical together for 3 days. This in itself, we spoke with such historic issues. And in these meetings, we discussed concrete details of the India-America future. And we decided to implement a clear strategy for it. The technology handshake event at the White House today also is a clear message to the companies, the businesses, the manufacturers, the innovators of both countries. And that message is, this is the moment. This is the moment. The governments of India and America have done the groundwork for you all. Like you plow the field, we've done that. And whatever else is needed further, we will keep doing it for you all. However, it is now your responsibility to wholeheartedly play and thrive on this ground. And the one that plays is the one that thrives. I'm confident that you will not let any opportunity slip by, and that you will take full advantage of this opportunity. And I assure you that you will find a better environment in India, a better opportunity in India. Ease of doing business is the commitment of our government. Friends, history is witness that whenever India has been strong, the entire world has benefited from it. In the worst crisis in the last 100 years that the world has witnessed, that is during the pandemic also, this is what we saw. When the world needed medicines, India enhanced its production and sent medicines to more than 150 countries. And remember that time, people were so scared to even step out of their houses. At that time, India sent medicines to 150 countries. When the world needed the corona vaccine, India increased its production and sent vaccines to more than 100 countries. We have a big heart. And a big commitment, which is bigger than our heart, to world peace. Friends, you're also witness to the fact how much the corona pandemic has damaged global psychology. Everyone is suspicious of the other. Every country is wondering, now, which country would be by my side when I need their help? Which means what I'm trying to say is that Corona has dealt a severe blow, not just to the body, but also the mind. And we must not underestimate this. In these times of doubts and apprehensions, India is moving forward based on its democratic values that are thousands of years old, standing along with the entire world. Friends, India has the biggest solution for another challenge of the future, and this challenge is of aging. There is absolutely no denying the fact that aging does not impact just manpower. It also impacts consumption, production, and innovation. Today, India is the world's youngest country. The world's largest talent pool is in India. The largest youth talent pool is in India. The world's largest skilled and professional force is in India. And therefore, any country that partners with India now in these times will benefit from it. Friends, you will be happy to note what speed India is moving forward with. Speed, scale. Today in India, every week, a new university is set up. Today, every 3 days, an Atal Tinkering Lab is being opened in India. Today, every day, every 2 days, a new college is set up in India. Today, every day, a new ITI is being set up in India. And today, every year, a new IIT and a new IIM is being set up in India. The talent that graduates from these institutes are working for the welfare of the entire humanity. Today, this talent is managing several Fortune 500 companies and have very important responsibilities. And I know that in this hall, there are so many of these people who represent the talent of India. I believe that Indian-American shared dream, Indian-American shared determination has the capacity to change the destiny of the world in the 21st century. I once again invite you all to move forward together in this development journey of India. And I had once said this in my speech from the Red Fort, and I said that this is the time, and this is the right time. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, my friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain in your seats while the Prime Minister and his delegation depart the theater.